Hi everyone, how are you today? My name is Tracy. I am Tracy Stitches here on YouTube, and I am Wow Princess on Instagram. This is a YouTube channel about cross stitching. So if you are coming back to see me again, I appreciate it. Welcome back. If you're new, welcome. And I hope you'll join me again. Today's Sunday, March 22nd, 2020. The world has changed a little bit since the last time we talked. I think I spoke a little bit about COVID-19 in my last Flosstube, that I was concerned. And 2 weeks later, things are pretty dramatically different, I would say. I don't remember if I said this or not. I have asthma, so I probably am a little bit more paranoid than some people. But there's not much you can do about it except for stay home, which is what everyone's encouraging everyone to do. I don't know how well it's working. I fully suspect that I live in Washington State. I fully suspect within the next day or two that we'll have a stay-at-home order. I think our governor is trying to not have to go that far. I think he was hoping that the closures and the comments that have been put in place would encourage people to do the right thing. And I think we have part of our state that is trying, although not great, better. And we have half of our state that thinks it's a big city problem. So I fully suspect that we'll be in a stay-at-home order very shortly, though I think a lot of people are behaving that way anyway. I've been at work from home since the 11th, so 8 working days now. I've left my house twice. I was able to get a click list order put in with Fred Meyer. For those who aren't familiar with Fred Meyer, they're Kroger owned. So I was able to get a click list order picked up for Monday afternoon. That was on Sunday. I was able to get that order put in. Now, it wasn't in my town. I had to go to the town south, which is about a 45-minute drive, but it was completely worth it. I got about 80% of my order, which was good. And then on Tuesday, I did have to go into my office. I needed to pick up some more paperwork. I hadn't brought it. I don't know what I was thinking. I didn't bring everything I should have. I needed a keyboard to be able to, I have my laptop, and I have a big screen here at home. Sitting right here, you can't see it, but I needed a keyboard and a few things just to make things a little bit more comfortable to work from home. So I went into the office for a few hours, did a little work, had a couple of meetings with people who were still in the office, although we ironically did them over Skype from our desks, so that we didn't have to be in the same vicinity as each other, and then got what I needed. Before I headed into the office that morning, I stopped at the Safeway to see if I could pick up the rest of the items that I hadn't been able to get from Fred Meyer the day before. And ironically, they were fairly well stocked. I was able to get everything that I wanted, plus a few extra things. They had a little bit of paper towels. I didn't need paper towels. I have a package of paper towels already. They didn't have toilet paper. I'm okay on toilet paper. I'm not concerned about running out of toilet paper, but I wish I had a little bit more toilet paper, which is stupid. But I'm hoping that in the next couple weeks, as this new normal starts to settle in, that I'll be able to make a quick trip into town and stock up on groceries again, and hopefully maybe stop at Costco and get some toilet paper. I think I talked a little bit about the virus in my last video about being concerned. I have asthma, so I've been paying probably more attention to the virus situation than a lot of people. Plus I live in Washington, which was essentially the beginning of the virus in the States. It kind of hit here first. The first US case was in my state. Our death toll is by far the highest, not in my county. Although the counts in my county are going up. I think there's been 2 deaths in my county, and we're up to, I don't know, 20 cases or something like that. I'm not exactly sure of the number. One thing I do know is I pay way too close attention to it, and I need to stop. I need to find a way to stop doing that because it increases my anxiety, which is not good. Um, I also need to find a routine for myself. Um, it's so funny because I was talking to Melissa Stitchermel, and her and I are both pretty much homebodies. Being at home, not a thing, not a big deal. But now that we're told we can't leave or shouldn't leave, it's like, oh my gosh, what's going on? I need to leave. I need this, which you don't, but it's like, it just ratchets up my anxiety anyway. So, and my anxiety, displays itself with shortness of breath, which is so not the symptom you want to be showing right now for obvious reasons. So it's actually been getting better the last couple days. I think I've been able to kind of come to peace with everything, be okay. My parents are on their way home from California as we speak. They left California Friday morning, and they're scheduled to be home tomorrow. They're driving in a motorhome, but they may power through and get home tonight. It'll be a long driving day if they do that, but I think they want to be home. They're going to need groceries and stuff, but their plan is to there's several stores in their area. They live in Eastern Washington that have senior hours in the mornings on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So they're going to go hit Costco up, and then whatever grocery store they need to get food and stuff, and then they're going to be at home. So anyway, so I've been at home I haven't left my house since Tuesday. I did have a visitor on Wednesday. My brother and his wife came over to pick up some furniture for the new house that they were moving into this week. Really bad timing, unfortunately. But they came over. Normally it's a 5-hour drive plus hours, 5+ hours, but and they normally would have stayed at least one night, but because of everything, they didn't. They kind of were in and out. It was an hour. We didn't touch, didn't hug, stayed the distance. And then even after they left, I wiped everything down. So, yeah. By the way, this is my hair. Blew dry it this morning. Didn't flat iron it. I haven't even blow drying it. The only reason I blew dry it was because I knew I was going to film. No mascara on. This is just me. It is what it is, right? Hey, we're lucky I'm dressed. Let's be honest. This is why I need a schedule. I need some sort of normal routine. Otherwise, it's going to be a very weird 6 weeks of just switching between nightgowns and pajamas. But, and I've been going to bed earlier. I don't know what's up with that. Melissa and I talked about that last night too. Maybe it's just your natural instinct is to hibernate to some extent. I don't know. Been sleeping more. Been adulting better. On the flip side of that, I've not been cross-stitching hardly at all. I honestly think that I've let this consume me, and which is kind of sad. So my goal for this week is to stitch more and try to not dwell on things I can't control. The only thing I can control is me. And as long as I stay home, I should be fine. That's all I can do, right? So, all right. Well, I rambled on for over 9 minutes on that. I will put a disclaimer in my title so that anybody who is tired of hearing about it can skip it if they want. But anyway, let's talk about some cross-stitching stuff. Let's try to have a positive outlook on things and talk about things that we can control, which is our stitching, right? So start with haul. I did have a little bit of haul, sadly. I did order from Brandy some fabric on her last Friday night fight night, which was 2 Fridays ago. She didn't have one last Friday night, which would have been the 13th. But she was back this past Friday on the 20th. I did not participate. I just I have quite a bit of her fabric now, so I need to not be buying fabric. But I did get 3 pieces from her in the last one. I got 2 pieces of earth fabric. This piece is a 32 count Joblin, which is just lovely. So 32 count Joblin in earth. And then the other earth I got was a piece of 22 count Aida. I've never stitched on 22 count Aida. I'm not necessarily a big Aida fan, but Melissa keeps telling me that 22 count is really nice to stitch on. So I thought, well, might as well try. And she had this piece of earth. You can see how differently the 2 fabrics take the dye. This one is much more splotchy, much more darker, but it's beautiful. So, and it's really nice, soft Aida. You know, when I think of Aida, sadly, I think of, you know, Joanne's Aida, Michael's Aida, which is, so maybe this will change my mind. And the high count, that 22 count, might be okay. And then the last piece I got was a 32 count piece of Lugana in Outback Jack. And I don't know if this is showing, but it's definitely got some brown tones and some green tones in it. It's kind of washed out, but it's beautiful. So really happy with that piece too. So this will be probably the end of my fabric buying days for a bit. That's not, or at least from Friday Night Fight Night. I definitely may end up buying some custom cuts from her. Her fabric is beautiful and she does such a great job. I can't recommend it enough. I know I've talked to some other stitchers who have gotten in on it since Melissa and I have been talking about it, and totally worth it. Recommend her highly. So where does that leave me on Stitch for Stash? A little bit in the hole. But I got a bonus from work in March. So I put a little bit of that money towards it. I'm still in the hole, $13.48. And I have one more order coming. I have a market order from Dreama at Needlecraft Corner coming. It probably will be here. The sad thing is it's going to deliver to my work, to my office, because I don't accept mail at my house right now. If you remember, I moved into my house in October, and I don't have a mailbox here. This is a new construction build that didn't have a mailbox previously. So I don't have a mailbox. I don't have a way of putting a mailbox in because I'm just not that person. But so although I have a P.O. box, which is in town, I live 30 miles from town, and most of my packages I have delivered to my work. So my Dreama box is probably either sitting on my desk at work right now or going to be sitting there after tomorrow because I know it's shipped. So despite my desire to want to go get that box, I'm going to hold off. I'm really trying to hold myself to being quarantined for 14 days, just to be in the clear, just so that I know for my peace of mind, 14 days. And then at that point, that's going to be about the time that I'm going to need to restock on some groceries and things like that. So I am going to plan to go into town one morning, and I think because I have asthma, I think I can probably do the early morning shopping that they're setting aside for seniors and people who have health issues. So I think I'll probably try and do that, go to Costco, see if I can get some toilet paper, and stock up on some groceries, and then run into my office. It's pretty, like I said, we're down to there's normally about 80 people in our office, and I think there's less than 10 working in the office now. So I could easily stay away from people and run to my desk and get my box. We'll see. I'm not going to do anything that I'm not comfortable doing. And if that box sits there for a few weeks, then it sits there for a few weeks. That's just the way it goes. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I didn't have any finishes this week, or these last 2 weeks, excuse me. I did not have any finishes. I did have some FFOing though. And I kind of showed you guys this in my last video, what I was planning on doing. I remember I had that board that I was gonna, I was gonna paint it white and then finish it for my Lizzie Kate months, and I did that. If you follow me on Instagram, then you've seen this already. This is on a magnet, because I wasn't sure that that would be sufficient for all of the months, but it was good enough for now. And then of course March is on magnets as well, magnets and washers. So that's super cute. I really like the way that this has turned out. I did play around with a couple of picks that I had gotten, but I didn't like them. They're not my thing. This bow is about the extent of my foofiness, and I do like the way it looks. I may try, when things calm down and I feel comfortable going to Michael's or Joann's, I may try and find more ribbon like this in different colors. I really like the polka dot. This bow is a little bit trying to make, because all of the instructions tell you to fold over and across and then in one piece, but because the polka dots are only on one side, I couldn't do that. I had to cut separate pieces and piece it together. But in this little thing, I gotta play with it a little bit, but you get the idea. I like it. It's pretty. I like the white. I like the backboard on the white. So I am happy with the way that turned out. And then these don't have the washers on the back of them yet, but I did finish them all. So I've got January and February and March. No, that's not March. That's May. And July. By the way, my nails. Oh, yeah. My nails have seen better days. But oh well. July. So, the totally random months that I have done there. I am going to try to pull April out and get it done before the end of the month so that I can put it up, and then I'll have May. Then I'll need to do June, and then I'll be pretty far ahead at that point because I have July as well done. So then I can start working forward and hopefully stay ahead of the rest of the year. So so I was pretty pleased with that finish. So, and then this isn't my finish, but this is a finish from last weekend. We had a bit of a girls' weekend, kind of the last get together before lockdown, if you will. And it was at my house. And we made project bags. And when I say we very lightly, because I was not involved very much at all other than a cheering section. But I think there was 6 project bags made total. This is mine. It's a Seahawks bag, y'all. So very cool. And then the inside, oh my gosh, you guys, that is so good. So the fabric, courtesy of Jill, my friend Jill, likes to hoard fabric, and so she's trying to use it, and so we all shopped her stash. And then the zippers, our friend Sonia had bought a whole box of zippers at a yard sale for like $5. So yeah, so we Did it on the cheap, if you will. I've already purchased items. But anyway, so I got a new project bag, which I'm excited about. So anyway, all right. Whips. I only worked on one thing. The only thing I stitched on all in the last 2 weeks was my temperature tree by Stitchinmommy on Etsy. So, but what I got there is I am caught up on all the leaves through the 13th. I was going to try and get this week's caught up before I did this video, but it just didn't happen. So those leaves are through March 13th, and I'm a week behind, so I'm going to get caught up on that. I do recommend that you stay caught up on them. Try and do them a week at a time if you can, because the first 2.5 months there, when I got it caught up on January and February and then March or whatever, that was kind of a lot. But anyway, caught up on that. So I'm excited about that. But that's all I stitched on. Oh, and I did get some branches done too. I got the April branch done. May is about 80 to 90% done, and June is about 50% done. So I'm ready for next month already, and close on May and halfway on June. So getting some of those branches knocked out, which is nice. So working ahead. Okay. So my plans for the next 2 weeks of stitching really is to try to get back into my stitching groove and pay less attention to the news. I feel the need to keep on track with the news and make sure I understand what's happening and everything, as I'm sure everybody does, but I need to not be so enveloped by it. So I need to only worry about the things that I can control, right? I've said that about 4 times so far in this video. So if you need a drinking game, there's one for you. But that's okay. So I want to get back into get into my sketching groove. I want to get caught up on the leaves for my temperature tree and stay caught up on that. And like I said, I'm going to do those a week at a time. Doing them every day is a little tedious too. So I want to get, I haven't started the March piece for the linen and threads, Friends and Family stitch along. So I want to get that done. There's 8-9 days left in March. And then the April chart will be coming out. So I want to get that going and get that taken care of. I also want to start the Peppermint Purple Euro Black work. This is only printed through week 10. There's 2 more weeks added since then. But I've decided I'm going to do this in a monochromatic ombre. So I am going to, these are on bobbins, so it's going to be kind of hard, but I'm going to do them in that ombre color. So feels like that's a little backwards. Hold on. There you go. So it's 501, 2, 3, and 4, 5. 501, 2, 3, and 4. There you go. 501, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm going to go light to dark. And yeah. So I just need to pick some fabric out on that, which I have plenty, and get going on that. And then the only thing that I need to kind of figure out is magical stitches. I have done nothing for magical stitches in the last 2 weeks. I haven't done any of the homework. I haven't done any of the extra credit. I don't know. I might just call March a wash. Stitch on what I want. Get back in my groove on that. And pick it back up in April. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not motivated to do homework. As far as like stitching on the things that I really need to stitch on to count. And while I know I could stitch on what I want to and do penalty stitches for a lot, kind of not motivated to do that either, as far as counting stitches and stuff. So I may just take March off completely and then get back into it in April and move on from there. That's kind of what I'm thinking at this point. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how this week goes. But with the linen and thread Sal and the Peppermint Purple block work, getting caught up on that, that could take a majority of my time, and I'm okay with that. So I am not going to let myself stress out over the magical stitches. If it happens, it happens. If not, I'll pick it back up later. So that's the nice thing about that group. There's not a lot of pressure. They've combined the 2 groups together, it looks like, too. Or they've combined the 4 groups into 2 groups. I'm not really exactly sure of the reasoning on that, but they did. So anyway, other than that, I don't really have anything else to share. Yeah, I need to try to get myself, like I said, on a schedule. That's going to be my goal for this week, is to try to get myself on a normal routine at home. And also kind of make a list of things that I want to get done while I'm here. Since I'm not commuting, I'm saving about an hour to an hour and a half every day of travel time, of commute time. And there's no reason why I can't get some things done and get the rest of my craft room all situated. And that's the one place that I haven't finished unpacking yet, is my craft room. And the more boxes I open, the more I realize I still have too much stuff, which is disheartening. And it's not even cross-stitching stuff. I mean, I have a lot of that too, but just a lot. I'm a paper crafter. So I need to just get to a place where I'm happy with what I have, and I'm organized. That's what I need to be, is organized. And then maybe I'll work on getting some pictures on the walls up in this place too. So I have no pictures on the walls. I mean, this is just leaning up against a wall. The only thing I have on a wall in my house right now is a Paddington clock that I've had forever. I got it at Hobby Lobby years ago, and I love it. It's the one thing that I have on my walls here. Mostly because I kind of want to just know where I want everything. And I don't feel like I have everything that I want to put on walls too. So I don't know. We'll see. I also ordered a new dining room table and chairs this week. Ordered it online, which was weird. I've never done that before. The sad thing is that they could have delivered it this next week, and I wouldn't let them. So the chairs are coming via UPS, and those are the one things that the table and chairs I'm actually pleased with. I just touched my face. Luckily, it's just me in my house. I washed my hands before I sat down. I'm good. I'll wash my hands when I'm done here. But anyway, so yeah, the table or the chairs are the things that I'm most concerned about. And those are coming by UPS and will be here late next week. So I can put one of the chairs together and see right away if I'm going to like the chairs. Because if I'm not, then I can just cancel everything and send the chairs back. But otherwise, I have the table being delivered as of right now, 4 weeks from last Thursday. So well into April. And I'm sure I can push that more if I need to. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes with the virus. We'll see where this takes us. We'll see where 4 weeks from now puts us. And hopefully I can get my table delivered. Because I have a big old gaping hole in my house right now where a table should go. But anyway, that's where I'm at. I hope you guys are self-isolating. I hope you're social distancing. I hope you're doing well, staying safe, keeping your friends and family safe. For those of you who work in healthcare and emergency services, thank you. I'm sure it's a very thankless job right now. Tough. I hope that you have the supplies you need and the help you need, and do my part by staying home as much as possible and only going out for the things I need, which right now looks like it'll be a couple more weeks before I need to go out. I did pretty well on meal planning and grocery shopping, so I'm glad about that. So I will see you all on Instagram and social media. I've enjoyed watching some of the Insta Lives. A lot more stitchers are doing Insta Lives now, which I'm starting to partake in, which is nice. The interaction there is fun. And I doubt I'll be doing any of those, but I'll be partaking for sure. So anyway, I hope you all have a good Sunday. I hope you all have a couple weeks of good time with your family. I hope you stay busy. And I hope for those of you that have anxiety issues that you are able to get those under control and find a place of peace with everything. And I'll see you next time. Bye.